A girl walks up to a man holding another woman's underwear, then without a word tosses it into his bowl of food. Next, she dumps kimchi soup over his head, but the man doesn't care at all. As a seasoned playboy, he's long been used to women's revenge. The man's name is Osu, an orphan abandoned by his mother. Thanks to his exceptional poker skills, he's not only made a killing at the card tables with his friends, but he's never been short on women either. Even famous actresses have fallen madly in love with him. To prevent him from cheating on her, his actress girlfriend came up with a twisted plan. She embezzled $7 billion from mob boss President Kim, then framed Osu for it. Soon enough, the police came after him. While on the run, he ran into his good buddy Oh-sun. Not knowing the truth, Oh-sun fled with him, but got hit by a speeding car. Seeing his ride-or-die brother get hurt, Osu lost his will to escape and ended up in prison. What shocked him was that his girlfriend did this only because she was leaving the country for a year to film, and to keep Osu away from other women. She had him thrown in jail. She said she'd arranged everything for him. As long as he served his year, he'd live in luxury when he got out. Osu immediately flipped the table, swearing he'd rather die than be with her again. A year later, Osu gets released. Not only is he broke, but he learns devastating news. His brother who was in that accident has died. He wants to get back in the game with his friend Jin-sung, but the casino security bars him at the door because he's been blacklisted. To make matters worse, President Kim's thugs quickly track him down and demand he repay $8 billion with interest within 100 days. Osu argues that his ex-girlfriend stole the money and it has nothing to do with him, but the thug stabs him anyway and warns him that paying up is his only way out. After his knife wound heals, he immediately goes after the thug for revenge. With his years of martial arts training, he has the upper hand at first, but he's outnumbered and quickly gets beaten down again. The thug helpfully reminds him he only has 93 days left. Osu can only drag his battered body home in despair. Just when he's at rock bottom, a well-dressed man suddenly appears. After confirming he's Osu, the man keeps calling him young master. Actually, the man is looking for Oh-sun, but since Osu and Oh-sun are homophones in Korean, Osu doesn't catch on. Then the man hands him a business card, explaining he's a lawyer for a top conglomerate. The chairman has passed away, leaving behind only a blind daughter. The group can't find a suitable heir, so they're hoping Osu will return to inherit billions in assets. That's when Osu remembers his brother Oh-sun, who died in that car accident. Once mentioned he was actually a chaebol heir who fell on hard times after his parents divorced when he was 6. Turns out his brother wasn't lying after all. Seeing as he's about to be killed over $8 billion in debt, Osu decides to go along with the mix-up. Soon he arrives at the chaebol family's home, planning to impersonate his dead brother and inherit the billions. His sudden appearance immediately puts the family on alert. To prevent anyone from realizing he's a fraud, Osu goes on the offensive. First, he complains about the family portrait, questioning how the stepmother has completely taken over as the lady of the house. Then he nitpicks that the curtains and walls have been changed to colors his mother disliked, demanding to know if the stepmother deliberately erased all traces of his mother. However, Division Chief Ben, who's allied with the stepmother, fights back. He was supposed to be the family's son-in-law, and suddenly having another heir seriously damages his interests, so he strongly demands Osu prove his identity, stating that the young master has a burn scar on his arm and asking Osu to show it. Osu knows that rushing to show it would only make him look guilty, so he firmly refuses. But he has his accomplice Jin-sung deliberately spill water on him, then naturally takes off his jacket and casually reveals the scar. The stepmother and her allies are utterly shocked. Turns out, shortly after lawyer Jang left, Osu and his accomplices had carefully planned everything. They not only collected all the information about the chaebol family but also completely switched Osu's identity documents to Oh-sun's. At the same time, Osu practiced Oh-sun's handwriting thousands of times. Finally, to have the same burn scar as Oh-sun, Osu steeled himself and poured boiling water on his arm. After seeing the scar on Osu's hand, the stepmother and the sister's fiancé no longer dare to question him. Osu thinks everything's settled, but just then, his sister Oh-young appears. Far from being excited to see her brother after all these years, Oh-young questions whether Osu's sudden appearance is about money. Osu tries to explain, but Oh-young directly asks lawyer Jang to read their late father's will. The will states that all of the chairman's assets go to Oh-young, and without her consent, her brother can't get a dime. Osu is dumbfounded. After expressing her position, Oh-young turns to leave. As an experienced ladies' man, Osu feels he still has everything under control and chases after her. But Oh-young reacts violently, scratching his handsome face and saying, "I don't need the kind of family affection you're offering. If there's something you want to take it and get lost. But don't think you'll get it that easily." Seeing Oh-young's attitude, Osu realizes that if he wants the money, he needs to play the long game. So he asks Oh-young's best friend to bring Oh-young to the mall, planning to bond with her. Unfortunately, two bratty kids start playing around in front of Oh-young. Oh-young is about to stop them when her coffee gets knocked over, burning the kids, who cry loudly. Oh-young quickly crouches down to check on them, but then the kid's mother rushes over, pushes Oh-young to the ground, and scolds her for being blind and staying home instead of getting in people's way. A bystander who can't stand it steps in to help, bending down to pick up her cane and hand it to her, even helping her up, but Oh-young isn't grateful at all. A few steps later, she accidentally accidentally falls into a pool. Now even more people are watching and gossiping, but this time no one steps forward to help. Oh-soo sees all of this. To win fake sister Oh-young's trust as soon as possible, he doesn't immediately help. As time passes, Oh-young feels increasingly desperate and helpless. Oh-soo sees the timing is right, so he parts the crowd and approaches Oh-young. But he doesn't immediately lift her up. Instead, he asks why she refuses to trust people and why she even rejects kind help from others. Then he comforts her, saying if she needs his help, just grab his hand. In that instant, Oh-young can't hold back her tears. She finally grabs Oh-soo's hand, and he helps her leave the mall. On the way back, Oh-soo receives a text from his creditor, reminding him that if this woman dies, he'll inherit billions. Oh-soo looks up and sees the creditor staring at them with ill intent. Just then, Oh-young suddenly says that if he's approaching her for money, there's an easy way to get it: push her in front of the oncoming train right now. Oh-soo feels incredibly guilty, his hands unconsciously trembling. While Oh-soo is in a daze, Oh-young walks toward the tracks. Oh-soo snaps out of it and rushes forward, pulling Oh-young into his arms. Oh-young then asks why he saved her. Oh-soo seizes the moment, saying his only sister in the world, reunited after 21 years, tells him she doesn't want to live, now he wants to die more than she does. Then he apologizes, saying he should have appeared sooner so Oh-young wouldn't have suffered so much. Oh-young instantly breaks down. However, Oh-young doesn't completely trust Oh-soo. Shortly after returning home, Oh-young questions Oh-soo's identity. A year ago, she went to find her brother Oh-sun, but Oh-sun wasn't there, and the one who received her was Oh-soo. Though Oh-young can't see, her hearing is extremely sharp, so she feels Oh-soo's voice sounds familiar. Oh-young's suspicion makes Oh-soo panic, but he quickly composes himself. He immediately tells Oh-young not to be so suspicious, then deliberately puts his hand on her shoulder and has her feel his burn scar. This immediately reassures Oh-young, but she continues testing him by asking for the gift he promised when they parted as children. Oh-soo panics and quickly changes the subject to deflect. Meanwhile, the stepmother is also deeply suspicious of Oh-soo's identity and starts secretly searching through his luggage. Fortunately, Oh-soo came prepared, so she finds nothing suspicious. On the other side, Oh-young's fiancé Myung-ho also investigates Oh-soo, instructing a servant to steal Oh-soo's toothbrush to do a paternity test and determine his true identity. This is discovered by Oh-soo and his accomplice, so they switch the toothbrush on the way to the hospital. When the test confirms they are siblings, Myung-ho angrily throws the report on the ground. Soon after, Oh-young tells Oh-soo she's made a will stating that no matter what happens, if she dies, without investigation or questions, all her assets will transfer to Oh-soo's name. But there's one condition: her brother must kill her with his own hands. Fake brother Oh-soo laughs after hearing this, telling Oh-young she doesn't need to test him, he's by her side not for money but because he misses her. Oh-soo knows Oh-young is doing this because she doesn't trust him, so to make her let down her guard, he takes Oh-young to an amusement park to let her experience the noisy but real crowds. Seeing Oh-young tightly gripping his arm, Oh-soo's face shows a satisfied smile. Then he hugs Oh-young from behind, telling her not to be afraid and that he'll protect her. Under his comfort, Oh-young gradually loosens her tight grip. Then Oh-soo takes Oh-young to play a toy gun game. Since Oh-soo's aim is terrible, he doesn't hit a single prize. Watching a couple nearby celebrate excitedly after winning, Oh-soo feels embarrassed. Unexpectedly, Oh-young says she wants to try. So Oh-soo becomes Oh-young's eyes, and surprisingly, Oh-young hits the target with one shot, making her super happy. Then they play a water balloon tossing game, with Oh-soo becoming a human target. Under the guidance of onlookers, Oh-young hits him every single time. Oh-soo ends up drenched on this cold winter day. Under Oh-soo's dedicated companionship, Oh-young experiences the happiest time of her life. This moment reminds Oh-young of their innocent childhood together. That night, Oh-soo notices Oh-young going alone to the greenhouse again. This isn't the first time, so Oh-soo is very curious. After Oh-young comes out, Oh-soo uses a wire to pick the lock and goes inside. Inside, he discovers a secret room containing all the memories of Oh-young's mother and brother. While he's absorbed in looking around, Oh-young suddenly returns to get something. Oh-soo quickly hides. Just as Oh-young is about to leave after getting what she needs, Oh-soo accidentally makes a noise. Fortunately, a cat appears and Oh-young relaxes. After Oh-young leaves, Oh-soo checks the room again. He unexpectedly discovers that the gift Oh-young asked him to produce from their childhood parting is likely cotton candy. He also discovers that Oh-young's brother's burn scar is actually on his left hand, and they made the mistake in their rush. Just then, his accomplice Hee-sun arrives. She immediately destroys the photo showing Oh-young's brother's scar on his left hand, saying it's been so many years that no one will remember. She also pockets a photo with flowers from the wall. The next day, Hee-sun brings the flowers from the photo, catering to Oh-young's preferences. Oh-young feels comforted touching her mother's favorite flowers. Then Oh-soo takes Oh-young to plant the flowers in the greenhouse. After planting them all, they play a water gun game. This makes Oh-young even more fond of Oh-soo. Just as Oh-young grows more trusting of Oh-soo, her fiancé Myung-ho learns that although the paternity test shows Oh-young and Oh-soo are siblings, the doctor says the toothbrush hadn't been used in a long time. Plus, Oh-sun's previous letters mention someone named Oh-soo, so he plans to continue investigating. Soon after, Oh-soo takes Oh-young to her class reunion. Oh-soo wants to use this to strengthen their relationship, but then he learns that the person who burned Oh-sun's arm is among them and knows exactly where the scar is. Seeing his cover about to be blown, Oh-soo makes a bold decision. He simply takes off off his shirt and actively shows his scar to Youngtae, the one who burned Oh-sun's arm, saying he'll never forget the pain from that accident. Youngtae repeatedly apologizes to Oh-soo. Though he questions the scar's location, his overwhelming guilt makes him think he remembered wrong. Just then, someone calls them to sing karaoke, and the scar issue is dropped. While classmates are singing, a couple proposes on the spot. Oh-soo acts as Oh-young's eyes, narrating for her. After the girl accepts the proposal, classmates start chanting for them to kiss. Hearing the great atmosphere, Oh-young claps along. Then the couple starts passionately kissing. Oh-young is very curious about what's happening, so Oh-soo demonstrates for her. This makes the perpetually single 30-year-old Oh-young completely flustered. Her heart races and her mouth goes dry. To ease the awkwardness, she rushes to the restroom for fresh air. Oh-young's fiancé Myung-ho also arrives. To have more alone time with Oh-young, he asks Oh-soo to leave first. On the way back, Oh-soo passes a convenience store and suddenly realizes it's the one from Oh-young's photo. Seeing cotton candy at the entrance, he finally understands that's the gift Oh-young wants. Unfortunately, the store is closed. Just then, two kids with cotton candy walk by, so he quickly chases after them. When Oh-young gets back, Oh-soo presents the cotton candy to her. Oh-young smiles happily touching it. It's her and her brother's most beautiful childhood memory and a secret only they share, so she's even more certain that Oh-soo is her real brother. Meanwhile, Myung-ho continues investigating Oh-soo's true identity. When he arrives at Oh-soo's former residence, he meets Oh-soo's creditor and asks if Oh-sun is there. Since Oh-sun and Oh-soo sound the same in Korean, Oh-soo's creditor asks which Oh-sun, the PL group's Oh-sun or the thug Oh-soo. Myung-ho becomes even more suspicious of Oh-soo's identity. Later, Oh-young and Oh-soo visit the riverside they frequented as children. Here, Oh-young recalls many beautiful memories. Just as Oh-soo is congratulating himself on knowing brother Oh-sun's information inside out, Oh-young walks straight into the river. Oh-soo immediately rushes in and carries her out. After reaching the shore, Oh-soo slaps her. Though Oh-young gets hit hard, she feels incredibly happy right now. She can't help but touch Oh-soo's face. Now she finally knows what it feels like to be cared for. That evening, instead of going home, they check into a hotel. After a few drinks, they open up to each other, sharing their past. When the conversation gets lively, they laugh heartily. When it's time to rest, Oh-young asks to sleep with Oh-soo. Oh-soo says they're adults now and it's inappropriate, but Oh-young says in her eyes, Oh-soo isn't a man. He's the brother she parted from at age 6. Oh-soo thinks this makes sense, so he agrees. To have something to remember after Oh-soo leaves, Oh-young uses her hands to measure Oh-soo's height, then feels his entire body. When it's time to sleep, Oh-young even rests on Oh-soo's arm. Oh-soo asks why she walked into the river. Oh-young says if she could choose when to die, she'd want to die during her happiest moments. With that, she snuggles tightly into Oh-soo's embrace. A strange feeling surges through Oh-soo's heart. The next day, Oh-soo takes Oh-young to the beach. Oh-young, who's never been to the ocean, is thrilled. However, happy times are always fleeting. Just then, Oh-soo receives a call from Jin-sung and suddenly realizes he forgot his late girlfriend Hee-ju's memorial day. Hee-ju's sister Hee-sun is so angry she smashes the memorial stone Oh-soo set up. Seeing the shattered stone, Oh-soo arrives feeling incredibly guilty. Just then, creditor Moo-chul also shows up. They both loved Hee-ju, and Hee-ju's accidental death turned them into enemies, so they immediately start fighting. Finally, Moo-chul gives Oh-soo a poison pill, telling him to choose either poison Oh-young and inherit the fortune, or kill himself. He reminds him there's only 1 month left to repay. Meanwhile, Hee-sun is furious about Oh-soo forgetting her sister's memorial day. She plans to confront him, but then sees Oh-soo and Oh-young lying in the same bed. She's livid and decides to find Oh-young and reveal their plan to scam her for money. Fortunately, Oh-soo arrives in time and his true identity isn't exposed. Learning that Oh-soo approached her for money, Oh-young is heartbroken. The two part on bad terms. Meanwhile, Moo-chul calls Jin-sung, telling him he gave Oh-soo poison and suggesting Jin-sung leave Oh-soo before becoming an accessory to murder, for old time's sake. Jin-sung panics and immediately finds Oh-soo, saying he's found Oh-young's family vault. He urges Oh-soo to rob it and leave quickly. He doesn't want to see Oh-soo become a murderer. Oh-soo has fallen in love with Oh-young and is reluctant, but after hesitating, he agrees. While Oh-young and her stepmother go to meet her fiancé's family, he makes an excuse to stay home. Just as countless checks and gold bars are within reach, Oh-young and the stepmother return early. Oh-soo quickly hides behind the door. Unfortunately, the stepmother eventually discovers him, but she doesn't make a scene. Instead, she sits down to negotiate privately. She's learned Oh-soo owes 8 billion and offers to pay it if he'll stay away from Oh-young forever. Oh-soo knows he can't back down now. He recalls a video he saw of Oh-young's eye examination. The doctor said Oh-young's blindness was just a retinal disease that could be cured. But the next day, when she went with her stepmother, the doctor claimed it was a misdiagnosis. Oh-soo suddenly knows how to respond. After a brief panic, he immediately turns the tables, saying it's perfectly normal for him to secretly enter his sister's room because he's searching for the truth about why the stepmother won't treat his sister's eyes. The stepmother's rush to give him 8 billion only proves her guilt. If she tells Oh-young about this, he's not worried. Though Hee-sun told Oh-young about Oh-soo's true motives, he already explained it away with family affection, and Oh-young believes again that Oh-soo isn't there for money. The negotiation reaches a stalemate. To provoke Oh-soo, the stepmother has security remove the vault in front of him. Afterward, Jin-sung can't understand Oh-soo's refusal of 8 billion, but Oh-soo says it's bait the stepmother used to expose him. The more she does this, the more guilty she is. So Oh-soo changes strategy. He plans to collect evidence of the stepmother not treating Oh-young, then find proof of the stepmother and Oh-young's fiancé secretly conspiring for the inheritance. That way they can blackmail the stepmother for the money they want. Once the plan is set, they spring into action. Jin-sung and his son begin 24-hour surveillance of Myung-ho, while Oh-soo maintains a good relationship with Oh-young and investigates why the stepmother won't treat Oh-young's eyes. Meanwhile, the stepmother and Myung-ho aren't idle either. They're also collecting evidence of Oh-soo's fake identity. Learning that Oh-soo and actress So Ra were once a couple, Myung-ho immediately contacts So Ra under the pretense of filming a commercial, planning to have her expose Oh-soo. Fortunately, Jin-sung discovers this in time. With Jin-sung's warning, So Ra doesn't expose Oh-soo, hoping to reconcile with him. On the other side, Oh-young goes to the mall alone to buy Oh-soo a birthday gift, but collapses from illness. Oh-soo rushes to the mall and takes Oh-young to the hospital. The doctor reminds him that Oh-young's brain tumor may have relapsed. Oh-soo wants to persuade Oh-young to get a full examination, but Oh-young says she's had various tests since childhood with her stepmother and hates that life. If it really relapsed, there will be a next time, so she wants to wait until then to check. Oh-soo reluctantly agrees. To cheer Oh-young up, Oh-soo carries her up a snowy mountain. At the summit, Oh-soo removes Oh-young's ear warmers. Suddenly, she hears countless wind chime sounds. Oh-young asks what's happening, and Oh-soo tells her it's the sound of frozen tree branches hitting each other in the wind. He says if he ever leaves, when the wind blows again, these wind chime sounds will guard her in his place. Oh-young sheds tears of emotion, then turns around and kisses Oh-soo's cheek, asking if a sister can kiss her brother like this. Oh-soo smiles and nods. Then they embrace, quietly listening to the wind chimes. That night, they sleep in the same room again. Looking at the sleeping Oh-young, Oh-soo can't help but lean in to kiss her, but stops at the last moment. The next day, as Oh-soo prepares to get up, he's surprised to find a birthday cake already on the table. Oh-young specially prepared it for him. Looking at Oh-young's birthday gift and eating the cake she made herself, Oh-soo's eyes well up with tears. In this moment, Oh-soo completely forgets he's just a fraud. That evening, Oh-young comes home from work with a splitting headache from her brain tumor. She calls Oh-soo, saying she's going to take his tranquilizer. Oh-soo is terrified and rushes home because that's not a tranquilizer. It's the poison creditor Moo-chul gave him. Since Oh-young accidentally discovered it before, Oh-soo lied that it was for calming emotions. Fortunately, when Oh-soo gets home, Oh-young hasn't taken it yet. So Oh-soo, while Oh-young isn't looking, secretly opens the capsule and dumps out the poison. However, Oh-soo's strange behavior makes Oh-young suspicious. When she feels the capsule is just an empty shell, while Oh-soo goes to answer the door, Oh-young collects the powder from the floor. The next day, Oh-young finds her med school classmates and asks them to test the drug's composition. Meanwhile, after many days of investigation, the stepmother grows increasingly suspicious of Oh-soo's true identity and suggests Oh-young and Oh-soo do a paternity test. But Oh-young thinks Oh-soo remembers memories only the siblings share, so he can't be fake. She refuses. However, right after the stepmother leaves, her med school friend calls and tells her the drug is for euthanasia. Oh-young is terrified and begins to doubt Oh-soo's true identity. So the next day, she finds the stepmother and asks her to help investigate Oh-soo's identity. The stepmother thinks a paternity test would solve it, but Oh-young thinks such a big move would hurt the group's reputation. Since they discovered there are 2 people named Oh-soo, she thinks finding the other Oh-soo will reveal the truth. The stepmother thinks this is viable and gives her a business card, saying the person on it can contact the other Oh-soo. The person on the card is creditor Moo-chul. Learning Oh-young wants to see him, Moo-chul immediately agrees to meet. Oh-young then goes to find Moo-chul alone. But what she never expected is that on the way, a gang of thugs realizes she's blind and immediately drags her to a dark alley. Despite Oh-young's pleas, the thugs don't stop. Just then, Oh-soo grabs a bottle and smashes it on a thug's head, then grabs his hair and grinds it against the wall. Seeing Oh-soo's murderous eyes, the thugs are terrified and run away. Oh-soo tries to comfort Oh-young, but she slaps him instead. Then Oh-young demands to know why. If he wants the inheritance so badly, he stopped her from taking the poison. Why doesn't he just kill her now? Faced with Oh-young's accusations, Oh-soo has no defense. They go to a cafe, where Oh-soo explains the poison was actually meant for himself, but after meeting Oh-young, his mind changed. Oh-young gave him a reason to live. If Oh-young still thinks it's about money, Oh-soo can leave with nothing. Oh-young doesn't respond and just leaves. Just then, she almost faints. Oh-soo rushes her to the hospital. The examination confirms Oh-young's brain tumor has relapsed. Due to Oh-young's condition, their conflict eases. Then, over choosing Oh-young's attending physician, Oh-soo and the stepmother have a serious disagreement. After arguing for hours, neither can convince the other, and they part on bad terms. However, they don't expect that Oh-young refuses treatment altogether. No matter who tries to persuade her, she won't listen. This makes Oh-soo very angry. To change Oh-young's mind, Oh-soo first begs creditor Moo-chul because Moo-chul's sister is the nation's best brain specialist. But due to their past grudge, Moo-chul doesn't want to help. So Oh-soo relentlessly begs, only to receive a beating from Moo-chul. But Oh-soo doesn't care, he just wants to save Oh-young. Then he goes home to continue persuading Oh-young, but she still won't listen. So he uses his injuries to guilt trip her, saying if she she still refuses treatment, he'll leave immediately. Under his warm persuasion and firm threats, Oh Young finally accepts treatment. Then Oh Soo receives good news. Moo Chul agrees to have his sister perform Oh Young's surgery. Oh Soo is overjoyed, but Moo Chul's condition is that he repay 5 days early. To save Oh Young, Oh Soo agrees, but Moo Chul's sister tells him Oh Young's surgery has less than a 10% success rate, and even if successful, Oh Young will barely survive chemotherapy. Oh Soo is devastated, but bad news keeps coming. His ex-girlfriend Sora, who got him imprisoned, calls again, telling him to elope with her in 3 days or she'll expose his fake identity as a chaebol heir. But Oh Soo doesn't care anymore. He only thinks about how to cure Oh Young's illness. Meanwhile, after investigation, lawyer Jang and the stepmother learn that Oh Young's brother is dead and know Oh Soo is a fraud. They want to tell Oh Young, but Oh Young says she's willing to listen to Oh Soo and accept treatment. To avoid shocking Oh Young, they abandon the idea of exposing Oh Soo. When Oh Soo returns home and sees the sleeping Oh Young, thinking about her limited time, he can't help but cry. He leans in and kisses her. Just as Oh Soo is fully engaged, the sister suddenly opens her eyes. But the sister doesn't interrupt her brother. As a blind person who's never known romance, Oh Young doesn't know if this is normal sibling behavior or if she has different feelings for this brother. This internal conflict makes her panic, so the next day, every time her brother touches her, she feels fearful and resistant. Finally, Oh Young can't take it anymore and tells Oh Soo they can't sleep in the same room anymore. Oh Soo dismisses this, grabbing Oh Young's hand and refusing, gripping tighter and tighter. In her agitation, Oh Young mentions last night's scene, asking why he did it. Oh Soo says, "Because I love you." Oh Young protests that they're siblings, but Oh Soo says he doesn't care. Hearing her brother say this, Oh Young can't accept it. She immediately gets out of the car and calls the stepmother to pick her up. Then Oh Soo suddenly learns that Oh Young's eyes really did go blind due to a misdiagnosis back then. This makes Oh Soo furious. When he gets home, Oh Soo immediately pins the stepmother against the wall, accusing her of forging diagnosis materials, which caused Oh Young's blindness. The stepmother fights back, cursing Oh Soo as just a fake brother with no right to interfere in their affairs. They don't expect Oh Young to overhear their argument. Learning the truth, Oh Young is devastated. She immediately contacts lawyer Jang and announces she's kicking them both out. But Oh Young doesn't go too far. She transfers the stepmother's rightful inheritance to her, then gives Oh Soo the 8 billion he wanted. However, Oh Soo has fallen deeply in love with Oh Young and doesn't accept the money. Instead, he wants to end his feud with the mob his own way, believing only then can he return to Oh Young with a clean slate. Actually, mob boss President Kim doesn't care about the 8 billion. He's interested in Oh Soo's unbeatable poker skills. So he makes a deal with Oh Soo. If Oh Soo helps him win one game, their feud is over. Oh Soo immediately agrees. However, when it's time to play, Oh Soo keeps folding and deliberately loses. Jin Sung panics, demanding to know why he's doing this. Oh Soo calmly looks at President Kim. He already knows President Kim has serious financial problems. If he keeps losing, President Kim will go bankrupt. Everything he's done is to lure President Kim into the game. Though he knows it's Oh Soo's trap, President Kim has no choice but to fall in. Once President Kim personally joins, Oh Soo goes all out. After one all-in, losers get up one after another. President Kim thinks he has it won, but Oh Soo makes him lose completely. Oh Soo then walks away casually. Jin Sung is thrilled, but President Kim tells him his men are waiting on Jin Sung's family's way home, ready to kill them all. Then he tosses Jin Sung a knife. Meanwhile, Oh Young is undergoing brain tumor surgery. Oh Soo anxiously asks about the surgery. As he turns around, Jin Sung stabs him in the kidney. Seeing Jin Sung's desperate expression, Oh Soo understands everything. He wants to push through to see Oh Young, but eventually collapses. 1 year later, Oh Young has recovered from successful surgery. She thinks she'll never see that brother who gave her hope again. Just then, Oh Soo appears. Turns out Jin Sung's stab missed Oh Soo's vital organs and only punctured his appendix, so Oh Soo survived. Oh Soo asks if they can start over. Oh Young is overjoyed, and they passionately kiss. Thus ends the Korean drama, That Winter, the Wind Blows. Thank you all for watching. I'm Dino K Drama. See you in the next Korean drama.